All right, good evening. After a little bit of a weird, glitchy lobby setup, we are here and apparently ready to go. Joining me for the nightcap here, Famous, returning triumphantly to the co-caster chair for this season. How you doing, man?
Not too bad. It's been a hot minute, but glad to be back. Excited for my first cast of the season.
Yeah, it should be a good one. We were discussing this before we went live here, but one of the side products of the Switch scheduling is that as the season goes on, we should really get closer matchups. I saw that throughout this week, most of the games that I casted have been really competitive. I casted a Div E game last night that was fabulously entertaining. Both games were really back and forth. I expect nothing different here with Div C, Dunning-Krueger Knights, and Sidestep.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see the schedule swap. Makes for better viewing for everybody at home and more exciting games for us to watch.
Well, my friend, we are going to waste no time. I'm going to press start game, and we are going to get this show on the road. Map number 1, even though my game is apparently wigging out and not telling you what it is, but take my word for it, it is Tomb of... Nope. Don't ignore that. It is Battlefield of Eternity. I was getting ahead of myself. Map 2 will be on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Okay, well, people in chat will see I have nothing on right now. It is just a blank screen. So, Famous, do you see it? Wait.
I have the draft. If you don't.
It just popped.
Okay.
Very weirdly, it popped up, but it's cutting off the top and the bottom, like 10% of the screen.
That's
really weird.
Can you see the bans then?
No. Well, I can see that Raynor was banned, but I can't see the little hexagon at the top. So we're just gonna we're gonna power through. So first ban Raynor coming out from Dunning-Krueger Knights. It wouldn't be a Mongoose cast without some hiccups, so we're just gonna get those right out of the way. And who are we gonna see coming out here for Sidestep?
Hanzo ban I expect at some point, given Battlefield of Eternity.
Yep.
Sure. Urel. Okay. It's a solid ban. Urel probably the number 1 solo learner in the game at the moment.
Yeah, the meta's in a really interesting place right now. Even with the triple ban, there is not... I don't think there's one hero that you would just consider completely at the top. But there's probably half a dozen to 10 that are sucking up first bans in these games, and it's a Greymane banned out by Dunning-Krueger.
Yeah, that implies to me they're definitely looking for a racing strategy, getting rid of 2 really good basers in main. I mean, if Hanzo gets let through, I guarantee you it's an insta-lock Hanzo, which it does.
And so, choking out the solo lane even more, Sidestep takes out Malthael. And although you can't see it, Twitch viewers, first pick is there. Dunning-Krueger thinking about it. If they are indeed going after the burn team composition, I would expect a Hanzo as well. And instead they go with a Phoenix. Yeah, I mean, he's solid on the bird. No Hanzo, but still solid.
Maybe that means they have a little bit of insight into their opponents here. Oh, it's a Blaze pickup. See that Hanzo here, maybe. If not, maybe this will be a Hanzo free game. Could be no Shimadas.
I was shocked yesterday. The first game we casted, Angstrom and I, there was no Urel. Wasn't banned.
Really?
He wasn't picked. There's the Hanzo. And I didn't realize it till game 2. I was like, hey, wait a minute. And she wasn't there. So Hanzo and Blaze selected. Side of Sidestep highly prioritizing that solo laner with Urel ban, Malthael ban, and then a first pick Blaze, really putting heavy emphasis on the solo.
I'd really like to see a Leoric come out here for the side of Sidestep. Could counter into Blaze, and fortunately not. But I'm concerned they're going to continue down that solo lane
choke path
route here. Yeah, with the choke. Yeah, but Sonya's still an option. Good on the objective as well, but.
And you don't normally talk about it, but this is one of the battlefields where Artanis is significantly more valuable than on others. So you could see an Artanis taken for that solo lane as well.
Yeah, that's true. Artanis is actually pretty strong on Battlefield Eternity. I don't like to admit that he is a viable hero, but he does work, and there's the ban for it.
So, I mean, this is a straight solo lane choke coming out for Sidestep. No Artanis, no Mouth, no Yrel, now no Cho'Gall, no Blaze. Leoric, off the top of my head, is the first, kind of the best one left on the board if you want that kind of melee offlaner. Although Thrall can do that as well. And you can also flex Phoenix up there too if you want to go with like a Maiev or somebody else who doesn't do it really well.
Yeah, absolutely, that would work as well. I'd really like to point out the fact that they side of it's Knights on the left. They got Diablo and Phoenix, a really powerful combo right now, just energizing the ultimates together. So you get the Purification Salvo along with the Lightning Breath. Just easy wombo combo, does a ton of damage. Something especially Rhaegar is not really going to be able to keep up with.
Yeah, and even add the Decker Kane AoE crowd control on top of that too. Yeah. So a lot of control here for the side of DKK. But Sidestep has a Garrosh Blaze frontline. That is a big, beefy, really difficult frontline to get through. We're going to have a Ragnaros and a Tychus. So Rag in the solo lane, don't see a whole lot of Rag nowadays, but really good defensively if they do lose the race on the Immortal and Tychus. As long as he minds his positioning, can really do a number on the Garrosh.
Yeah, I think those are some solid picks. I think Tychus is a very effective into Blaze. And especially, he does a lot of damage into Garrosh, but he's pretty vulnerable to that flip throw combo. But if Decker can kind of control the Garrosh a bit, and Tychus can get some auto attack damage in, it's pretty powerful composition coming out here.
Yeah, the Deckard Cain is really going to be really important here because that's going to be the hero that keeps Garrosh away from the Tychus.
Yeah. I like both drafts a lot, actually. They're pretty conflicting styles. Some really good team fight coming out from the Knights, and really good poke onto the objective with the Li Ming and Hanzo. Hanzo can actually kind of scatter arrow from a mile away as it is and put a lot of damage onto the Immortal. So and some really good stun lock as well. Like Garrosh can throw into stun, into a Blaze stun, into a Hanzo arrow with Li Ming blow up. Pretty powerful combos from both sides.
So that was kind of hugging the fence there. Tell me, which one do you actually like, though?
I really like both, but I love the Hanzo, and I can never vote against Hanzo on Battlefield of Eternity. But I think the Rhaegar really isn't going to be able to keep up with the healing aspect if they get a good salvo. But then there's Bunker to counter that, so there's going to be a lot of interplay between Bunker and the combo. So I think I'll stay safe and say sidestep with the Hanzo.
And we didn't even talk about it, but Li Ming is probably the safest poking burn hero on BOE. When you get those Immortals in the defensive position and you're kind of hovering around that middle area, Li Ming probably the most effective hero with Hanzo at burning that thing out safely from a distance. So definite advantage in the compositions there for Sidestep, and we are into game one. The blue team here, Dunning-Krueger Knights, will feature Ralph Stew playing Diablo, Apple Eater playing Ragnaros, Schweik playing Tychus, AZT Gokiburi on Phoenix, and Hotaru on Deckard Cain.
Oh, I think the game would be set to Central. Teams concerned about that.
Rip. Well, we can do that.
And we can pause and then.
Let's see. Yeah, we can. They can pause it. There we go. They can pause it if they need to. I don't. That's on the players to pause the game. Oh, wrong screen. Ignore that. There we go.
It looks like they might be getting a remake then.
The server selection process is really wonky. I actually had
Teams leaving the game now.
Yeah, actually had I remade twice last week and we could not get it to switch servers because there isn't like a way to just select a server. It's preferred server. So like
right.
And I totally get the server thing. It's really not a small deal at all. We have a player on our squad who's on host. It's a noticeable difference.
Yeah.
We see it when he's on Central. opposed to Wests. I definitely don't begrudge these teams for wanting to get on the server that best for them, especially when both teams want West server too. So, we do not have to sit through a draft again. But let's get everybody in here. And once again, look, I can't... I think, you know, I'm going to restart, I think, because I still can't pick the type of game or whatever. Wow! So, trying again. See if we can get this thing going. Every now and again, my Blizz client does this thing where it, like, for 2 seconds, it's like, Blizz services unavailable, and then my whole game wigs out. I think that's what happened here. We totally restart this bad boy. Go. Oh, okay, now it's there. Great. All right, hang in with us, Twitch chat. We're gonna get this whole thing going now. I have a feeling second time is gonna be the charm. Members of Sidestep. I need to get in the habit of actually checking them. Oh, did I lose you? Are you muted? Oh, coming through it all. Hold on. It might be my end. Say something again. Nope. I'm not getting you anywhere. Well, let's, while you hopefully figure that out. You can hear me okay, yeah, though? Yeah, you can? You can see you, just can't hear you. Let's, why don't we remake the call very... Oh, there you are. You just got to get that beautiful face back up.
Yeah. Oh, that was weird.
There we go. That was really weird. It's just kind of one of those nights.
The gear doesn't like us tonight.
No kidding.
Huh. Yeah, I didn't change anything. I swear. I don't know what happened.
I believe you. All right, we got the ready out from Kelvs and Ralph Stew. It looks like I'll give them. Okay. All right. All right, there we go.
Okay, Tychus Phoenix, Diablo, Ragnaros, that's right. Rhaegar, Hanzo, Grey, Garrosh, Li Ming, and Blaze. Perfect.
Right, nobody choose any banned skins. We're not doing this again.
No invisible horses, Steve.
Yeah.
$10 for 10 ready.
All right.
Perfect.
Now we are actually going.
All right, I'm pumped. Let's
All
get
right,
this
let's get repumped.
go on the road.
Repumped.
So what you never actually voted for a team, did you? Which
I did not,
which side
because
you think's got
that was
draft?
my caster trick. Is while I'm setting up cartography, I get you to talk, so I don't have to. So
Gotcha.
Punch all the players in and get that little sweet tower introduction. But I actually do like Sidestep's draft simply for the burn. It's when one team has a significant advantage in the burn like that, it makes this game a little harder than it needs to be. Okay, we will go one more time. Dunning Krueger Knights in the blue trunks. We have Ralph Stew on Diablo, Gokiburi on Phoenix, Hotaru on Deckard Cain, Schweik on Tychus, and Apple Eater on Ragnaros.
And on the right, in red, we have Sidestep with Hanzo, played by Celia Noon. Joodle Panda playing Rhaegar. Natanaz playing Li Ming. Kelvs on Garrosh. And I'm going to say Doosting on Blaze.
I like the name Judai Panda myself. I'm a fan.
Judai. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Some interesting names here.
Yep, for sure. I do think we had this discussion in the off-season in the NGS Discord, because in the off-season we don't have much else to talk about. But
Sure.
player name of the year for last season, my vote went to Guac Cousteau.
That is an excellent name.
From last season.
Guac Cousteau. Phoenix already lost his shield here. Some poke coming up from Li Ming. Put some good pressure. He's going to need some of them Deckard potions.
Yeah, actually, Goki Burrow is taking a lot of damage. One full combo. Actually, that was a nice little anticipation on the teleport there. Didn't quite connect, but Sidestep really putting just a lot of pressure on DKK in the early going.
Yeah, Ralph Stew is taking a beating. He's going to be forced to early tap.
We're in the top lane. We'll check in on those solo laners, make sure we give them their love as well. I do expect Blaze to win out in this lane. Apple Eater's job is basically to soak safely and not to die, and I missed a kill. Of course I give the solo laner some love, and I miss a kill. Garrosh going down to the Tychus.
Yeah, we'll come out from Ralph Stew making a good stun combo into flip, into just a lot of follow-up damage from the Tychus and Phoenix. Just solid play.
Alright, so it's getting about that time where we will likely see these teams rotate onto the keeps.
Very low top, force attack as well.
Yeah, this is one of those things where, you know, when you're the Rag player in this matchup, you kind of just know you're going to lose it. You don't really need to do much. You let the waves crash into the wall, you do your damage. There's no need to take all that free poke. And you get aggressive if maybe Blaze makes a mistake. But beyond that, you're kind of chilling. It's a little bit of a boring job, actually.
Yeah, not much you can really do there. First talent, we have Force Armor from Li Ming. It's pretty notable. Other than that, nothing too crazy from Sidestep. And all standard as well for the Knights.
And that's one difference between an early game Diablo and a late game Diablo. 31 hit points Garrosh escapes with. But early game Diablo 4, he's packed on those souls, is a little bit squish. The side of Sidestep able to get the flip and the kill, and Garrosh able to crawl away to safely. DKK has rotated onto the Bruiser camps. Sidestep has done so as well. One of the things with Diablo on Battlefield of Eternity, this is one of the harder maps for him to stack souls. So in the mid to late games, if he loses those, it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, for sure. Diablo, it's odd, right? He's powerful on this map because there's all these nice little wallbang positioning around the Immortal, and he can flip people into the stun objective. But like, getting his souls back is so difficult. It can be pretty oppressive in the late game.
Yeah, it's really almost a must pick for him to take the level 7 talent that gives him the souls on his Flame Stomp. That the name escapes me right now, but that's really almost necessary for him to recover those souls.
Yeah,
if he were to die.
Sure. We do have a Shaman camp pushing bottom that's going to need to be dealt with. It's going to get this front wall pretty quickly.
Rhaegar might be in trouble. Got caught in a Immortal Stun and the Scroll of Sealing. Fighting into these stuns, members of Sidestep taking a lot of free damage here. However, they have won at halftime. Li Ming may be in trouble if Diablo has some CC up. Able to walk away to safety. In the meantime, the members of Sidestep are continuing to burn, but Garrosh gets caught in a boss stun and a Ralph Stew sandwich. Garrosh goes down again for the second time this game. DKK zoning Sidestep away from their Immortal.
Not putting some good pressure on the back line here, however. Keep them away from that objective.
So they have sent Phoenix back to burn, while all 4 members of DKK are trying to defend. Despite that, the death timers are just too short at this point, and the Li Ming poke just too good. It's really only a matter of time before Sidestep wins the first objective, and now they've done so.
Yeah, Saloon can really get good scatter arrows there as well, just in the choke point. Pretty safely poking at the Immortal. Nightsu uses Escape. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. Or Ralph Stew, excuse me.
He's going to be dead, actually. And down goes Ralph Stew. Yeah, he did use his Shadow Charge in. A really nice counter jet propulsion by Blaze, followed up with the...
Phoenix has got to be careful here as well. Oh, he's good. He's good.
Yeah, followed up by that flip toss on the Garrosh, landed Diablo in a world of trouble there. Another toss on a Schweik this time. Nice Scroll of Sealing by Hotaru to keep him alive. I think if that Scroll of Sealing that wasn't there to zone away Sidestep, Schweik would have been dead there. Early game advantage, though, definitely in favor of Sidestep. Toss onto Diablo one more time. However, Ralph Stu continuing to be aggressive. Great Scroll of Sealing. A Sidestep, though, with a nice fighting disengagement. Everyone kind of walking away, bruised and battered, but everybody's still alive.
That'd be a nice Tawari, and everyone just walks away. Posturing towards this camp. This is fairly ambitious considering the amount of poke and Sidestep.
Yeah, we really need to keep an eye on, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, Nahatnos? I'm going to say Nas. I'm just going to shorten it to
I like it. I like it too, Nas. He's landed a lot of combos on that back line.
Yeah, he is constantly in a flanking position to just fire those orbs and magic missiles past the front line and into the back line.
I'd like to see him get behind the bottom well there and just siege it up and just remove that. Wow. It's so low.
Great rotation. Phoenix and Rag actually catching Blaze out in the top lane. I missed that as well. And stealing the camp.
Huge play.
Yeah, really
They're gonna get this front wall for free.
So Li Ming is getting nice damage on the backline. However, if Ralph Stu kind of sniffs that out and catches her in that isolated flank position, could be a very quickly dead Li Ming as well.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to keep an eye on that Li Ming positioning in these team fights and how the Deckard Cain and Diablo CC reacts to her positioning.
Looks like both teams now going for their Shaman camps. Could be an even trade.
So Sidestep actually had a little bit of an XP advantage early. However, that kill onto Blaze and some nice soaking has gotten them dead even. They are racing this. They're winning simply because they got there so much faster. But look at those bars, the difference, how fast that blue one goes down. They almost caught up, even though they were there for like only half the time, basically.
Hanzo full scatter arrow build on Battlefield Eternity is pretty insane.
So now these Immortals are in the defensive positioning that Li Ming and Hanzo excel at. However, a huge Scroll of Sealing catches two. Schweik in trouble, tossed jet propulsion killed. Great execution by Sidestep, and Ralph's in trouble as well.
Good brute, gonna save him. But that was actually a throw into the Immortal Sun, so really good play from Kels there.
Now if you're Sidestep, you're just going to send Hanzo to take care of the Immortal while your teammates here have a little kumbaya party underneath.
Good throw. The stun. Next stun. Just get the throw.
Yeah, they interrupted the teleport there. Goki Burrow's in trouble. And
they can finish. There we go.
Li Ming finishing it with her very strong auto attack.
Now we do have a Shaman camp that's cleaned up the bottom wall. Good root. Jet propulsion's out. The Groundbreaker. Immortal's gonna get that stun on Diablo. He's going down.
Yeah, this whole little engagement here is Diablo goes down is a really textbook example of as a Dragon Arrow hits no one, but it's a textbook example of why it can be very difficult to fight under the Immortal. You really want to avoid that if you can.
2 AoE stuns as well into small choke is pretty dangerous.
Well, especially when you have a Diablo and a Blaze who can try to hold them in there. Both teams have hit their heroics. We have Warlord's
Lava Wave.
Warlord's Challenge for Garrosh, Bunker Drop for Blaze, Disintegration for Li Ming, Ancestral Healing for Rhaegar, and Dragon Arrow for Hanzo.
Yeah, we do have that Lightning Breath, Purification Salvo, Lornado, Commander Odin, and as we saw, that Lava Wave.
So great defense utilizing the Molten Core from Ragnaros there. Very little gotten done by that Immortal phase there from the side of Sidestep.
Yeah, unfortunately, they had sent Garrosh to the bottom to clear that Shaman camp, so they couldn't really engage without their main tank. And then with that Ragnaros passive Molten Core, there wasn't much they could really do.
Yeah, I wonder why they sent Garrosh as a Blaze. But
I imagine it was just a miscommunication.
Maybe Blaze was already in one spot and Garrosh was closer. However, we do have a mini engagement here. The toss onto Applegate, the Ragnaros, he is now taunted. The totem from Rhaegar comes out.
Good ancestral.
The dragon arrow comes out as well. Nobody going down.
Great into the fray from Garrosh onto Rhaegar. Diablo could have got the flip and the body blocks, and that was 100% dead Rhaegar.
So a lot of R buttons pressed. Nobody really any worse for wear, though.
Still Bunker, still Salvo, still Illuminator, still Commander Odin. So good trade in terms of ultimates for DK.
Yeah, Doosting is kind of putting the hurting on Gokiburo in the bottom lane here. Gokiburi. That Phoenix really living on the edge with those shields this game. We saw it right there. The Nas went into the flanking position. Diablo was waiting that time.
Good combo again on the back line, but she's been very aggressive.
So members of both teams going to have to either tap or go back. Garrosh went with the full trip back to the Hall of Storms, making sure he is really raring to go.
Yeah, we should note that Ancestral will be down for another 30 seconds, and it will be the only ultimate not available for this team fight.
Gleaming is in trouble. A great groundbreaker by Garrosh. Healing for Leeming probably saved her life. A two-man Dragon Arrow followed by a two-man Jet Propulsion. Ralph Stu can't press buttons for a very long time, and now he's taunted and a Disintegration.
There's a Salvo Bunker. There it is. Good job. Very well done.
They did eat some of the salvo, but certainly not all of it, and DKK is in trouble now. Commandeer Odin tossed into the back line. Schweik is going to go down. DKK needs to cut their losses, maybe take down the shield if Sidesteps lets them, but Sidestep is very likely to win their second Immortal phase of this game.
Yeah, it looks like Apple Eater's going to be fine just picking up this bottom fort with a minion wave. Oh, it's going to get cleared up by Garrosh. Just kidding. But they're going to get some damage onto the Immortal as they move away.
Ragnaros caught out, and Garrosh with the toss. Isolated kill again. This is about the point in the game where I start to think, where are the bans coming from? Are we seeing a Garrosh ban in game 2? Because he has been really impactful so far.
Absolutely. Very, very powerful tank. There's a bit of a cat and mouse play between Diablo and Garrosh. Between the flip into the stun from Diablo and then the throw from Garrosh into the Groundbreaker. It's who can kind of land it first and who doesn't want to overextend. And there's the support plays into it. Because Rhaegar's got cleanse, Deckard doesn't, but Deckard has some zoning.
So far, 8 kills to 3. It's definitely been Sidestep getting the advantage in that cat and mouse. Now here comes Apple Eater again on that Molten Core. They've gotten great value out of this. Ralph Stu flipped Shadow Charges to safety. Trying to stay out of that Immortal stun. Unsuccessful. Lightning Breath goes down to try to avoid dying. However,
Salvo. No bunker this time.
Oh! Ow! The fort does fall, and Garrosh does stay alive. Kind of the worst of both worlds for Dunning-Krueger. Meantime, that was actually a 5v4 as Blaze was in the top lane, getting his team a nice, healthy, nearly 2-level advantage here.
Yeah, huge experience lead. Lava Wave will help catch them up as we go later and later into the game. Just free experience from the ult. But if they lose a keep next, they'll be in some trouble.
Yeah, when you... it definitely is not encouraging when your team loses a 5v4 fight. So Sidestep got to feel pretty good about themselves. Right on the verge of 16. Ralph Stu in flanking position. I think this is something that initiation onto the Garrosh. He does self-cleanse and walk away. Sidestep has done a better job this game about not getting caught too far forward. Probably 3 or 4 of the kills on the side of DKK have been Sidestep just finding somebody overstepping in lane with that Garrosh.
Absolutely. I'd really like to see DKK force a fight here, pre-16. Just take this fort and then fight on top of it, but they have sent Ragnaros top, so they likely won't look for that fight.
And this is a 4-on-4, and this fort just, it wants to be destroyed. Look at how low it is. It's going to tilt me if they don't kill this fort.
Yeah, they cleared the shaman. They seem to be posturing on a retreat. I think that was a miscalculation. They did have a numbers advantage before. And there's the level 16, so
So barring a misplay on the side of Sidestep, this Immortal phase has their name written all over it. Dunning-Krueger Knights are going to have to deal with the Merc Camp push. They're going to have to deal with a talent tier discrepancy. They're going to have to deal with the fact that their race is just simply inferior to that of Sidestep. I don't see any way that they win this.
Yeah, especially with Mirror Ball coming online now for Naz as well. It's going to make a huge difference for him, as well as piercing arrows from Hanzo. Like, those are both really big damage boosts for both these heroes.
So it looks like Dunning-Krueger Knights opting to defend under their Immortal. A big scroll of sealing bunker forced out very early in this fight. Commandeer Odin and Lightning Breath both going out as well. Blaze was safely in the bunker. Now defender's advantage.
Salvo.
Yes, to Dunning-Krueger, and a big salvo underneath their own Immortal catches out Blaze. Hanzo able to vault to safety. However, Naz does catch out Phoenix with a lot of leaving damage. Lava Wave on the backside picks up Hanzo and almost Li Ming as well. Famous, this was the first moment this game that Dunning-Krueger Knights has really had, and it's a big one.
Yeah, they're actually, if they play this well enough, they might be able to get this Immortal, clear top. Maybe get a kill on Li Ming here if she's not careful. A wall bang into flip might be enough. Her HP pool's so small.
Ralph Stu zoning away, but Rag is in the top lane.
He's gonna need some help.
I mean, despite that, Sidestep is still winning this Immortal race, and now Ralph Stu is in trouble. He is not getting reinforcements.
Yeah, I don't mind his positioning originally, but they needed to reinforce him there if they were gonna hold and protect their Immortal.
Yeah, I thought, to be honest, I thought as soon as Li Ming crossed into visual range, he was just going to YOLO directly onto her, which is kind of by herself. But he kind of patiently waited there and then kind of fought into all three members and a very untimely death for Ralph Stu. Maybe the move there was come off that Immortal and fight 4-on-3 there, 5-on-3, and then come back to the Immortal after you win a team fight.
Silver lining, they will have an even talent fight for the defense, so that's good.
And Diablo will be up here pretty soon, in time to get a 5-on-5 defense. I believe Molten Core is probably up for this.
I think it's down because they used it to poke at the end of that fight with the lava wave as well.
Oh, did they? Rough.
They do have Purification Salvo and Lightning Breath, so if they can combo that effectively outside of the bunker, it could possibly turn the fight.
There goes a nice Lightning Breath. Yeah, that's a really good one to zone the members of Sidestep away, allowing them to focus down the Immortal. It won't save the keep, but it will prevent them from having any further thoughts of advancing, or will they? Triple jet propulsion into huge Li Ming damage, and then a clutch bunker and another jet propulsion onto Diablo. Again, taunted. Dunning-Krueger Knights running for their lives. A big flip onto Garrosh, and now Garrosh running away. What are we watching, Famous?
Diablo goes down. There goes Tychus. Doosting. He's gonna... Oh, he does survive from the right.
However, the minions are hunting for him. So a 1-for-1, it is not uncommon to see a team fight like that. Once Li Ming gets the first reset and re-engage onto Phoenix, and they catch him.
Diablo's gonna go down here too.
Yeah,
this is disastrous.
This could be game. Minute 19, about level 20.
Yeah, they have Catapult. I wouldn't mind this core rush.
Instead, they're going to continue to paint the... Although Li Ming has very low mana, so that's kind of their main damage there.
So that fight started with an Into the Fray, throwing Blaze into 3 members, into a Jet Propulsion stun, into a Hanzo arrow, into then a Garrosh Groundbreaker, and then a perfect bunker to protect them. And you know, not able to finish the kills.
That was the next words coming out of my mouth. Maybe the most impressive thing out of all of that is after all of the buttons were pressed by the side of Sidestep, nobody on Dunning-Krueger was dead. They were all still alive.
Yeah, wild fight.
And what I really
looking for an invade.
They are, and they should be with 20-18. What I really expected, to be honest, was once Li Ming got her first reset, I expected to see a bunch of other popping out. This is the overextension we were talking about. Famous Apple Eater does send a lava wave down here. That might spell trouble, or at least buy him some time. Toss, Li Ming, Rag goes down.
Yeah, that's a big problem. They could have just waited, you know, by their core, let the minions push up. But I understand the fact they wanted to get back in the game as quick as possible and a little bit of jitters, but you can't be that far out lane, especially without your tank anchoring those pushes.
And the most important part of all that, can't be that far in lane when you have literally zero vision on the enemy team. You actually have no idea where they are. I assume that they thought they were probably on their bruiser camps,
Yeah, yeah,
but they weren't. they
yeah.
were
I
they were
mean,
waiting.
like you said, level 20 advantage. It makes sense that they would have been looking to invade. So.
So this will be the fourth consecutive Immortal picked up for the side of Sidestep in a commanding lead right now. The last fortification, the last defensive structure for Dunning-Krueger will not be here much longer. The only question is, will the game still be going after this Immortal?
Well, they should have Molten Core for the defense as well, so they might be able to hold. Probably still losing the keep, but defending core as well. They still won't have 20s for this fight though. That's going to be a big problem. No emergency shooting for Phoenix, no extended lightning breath, no infinite healing from Deckard.
There goes Commandeer Odin for the defense. A big scroll of sealing to zone Sidestep away. There goes the Molten Core by Apple Eater.
Good stun. Another good quest.
So far, a pretty solid defense here by Dunning-Krueger Knights. However, that Immortal just barely through the shields. Garrosh might be in trouble. He ate a lot of damage. And now the Lightning Breath might be enough to finish him. However, the Purification Salvo with Bunker there, and that is going to do it. Phoenix goes down. Diablo goes down. Tychus goes down. Hotaru running into the Hall of Storms, and this will be game one in favor of Sidestep.
Yeah, GG. A big problem, I think, like you said earlier, that Garrosh was a huge issue for them. Just poor positioning coming out from DKK, which is punished just so efficiently from Garrosh.
Yeah, and they were definitely caught overextended a couple times as well, and really nice awareness for the side of Sidestep to catch the members of Dunning-Krueger Knights in rotation, punish those overextensions. I fully expect to see a Garrosh ban coming out here from Dunning-Krueger, unless they're gonna, change something up that allows them to deal with that a little better. But I mean, we could see actually a Blaze ban too, because Blaze hit some huge jet propulsions. As annoying as Garrosh was, the Blaze was just as effective.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with just the combination of the front line in general. You saw a lot of really aggressive into the phrase from Garrosh throwing Blaze right on top of his targets for easy stuns.
I mean, other than the one really nice team fight that Dunning-Krueger had about midway through that game, if you watch that game, it just felt like in every engagement, the members of Sidestep, the backline, felt nice and safe. They were able to operate in the spaces that they wanted. They were able to get the damage out where they wanted. Flip side of that, Phoenix never seemed comfortable. Tychus was always under threat. Those guys were just kind of focusing more on maneuvering themselves to safety as opposed to putting out the damage, and it was a big factor.
Yeah, for sure. I really do think Naz was kind of pulling a lot of weight there as well, just pressuring that back line, making sure they were always uncomfortable. And he kept pulling Diablo over, but Ralph Stu could never really get that lockdown on him and punish him for the fact that he was always in such an aggressive position.
Yeah, I mean, Ralph Stu, a couple of times we could see him trying to make that adjustment and deal with the flanking leaming, but every time that he did that, that leaves open the front line to that big, beefy Garrosh and the jet propulsion out of Blaze. So poor Ralph Stu was really pulled in a couple of different directions there, and they, couldn't quite figure out how to best deal with that. And Ragnaros, as his frontline partner there, he doesn't really have the tools to help hold that front line with the Diablo there. All right, so map 2, very different animal than Battlefield of Eternity, will be on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Now, map 1 was the selection of a sidestep. So map 2 here, the selection of Dunning-Krueger Knights, and let's see if they have something up their sleeve for their map selection here to even out the series. Oh, you're muted again. What happened? Oh no! Oh no! Try again. That's so bizarre. This is just one of those days. Hey, thanks, Cody Kraz, for the raid.
Any luck?
Now you're back. And now you're back. Bizarre.
Oh, all right.
Well, welcome to the new people to the cast. You guys are here just in time to see Famous and I continue to struggle with technical issues, as well as the start of Game 2 between Dunning-Krueger Knights and Sidestep in Div C West. We just concluded Game 1 on Battlefield of Eternity with Sidestep taking it. And we will be starting here in just a minute or two on Tomb of the Spider Queen, with Dunning-Krueger looking to take the split, gain a victory in their map selection on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Yeah, as I was saying to me in particular earlier, that Tomb of the Spider Queen is a very different animal than Battlefield Unity. A lot less team fight oriented and more rotational heavy. You got wave clears as a much more potent tool. So mages tend to come to mind a little bit more than auto attack heroes like Battlefield Eternity. So maybe we see that Jaina or Gul'dan coming into play.
Or in the meta we live in now, Asmodan likely not even going to get
yes.
this game. He's going to be banned out. I mean, he's all over the place right now. Johanna does get more priority on Tomb. So solid at clear and rotation. I mean, even though it is a 3-lane map, it's a small map. The lanes are really close to each other. So those heroes that can clear and rotate quickly really get a lot of value.
Yeah, Maiev as well. Squeaked through the draft last time on our last map, rather. She's very, very powerful on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and actually since her nerfs that she had earlier, her macros has gotten a lot stronger since they added some damage to her E and took it away from some of the rest of her kit. So her wave clear is actually very, very strong.
Yeah, although Maiev not necessarily picking for her wave clear prowess. You're picking her because these lanes are so close together. You want to get those picks in rotation. Something Maiev definitely excels at. So we do have both teams in here in lobby. I'm just waiting for the thumbs up from the team's captain. And both members. Gotta wait for.
Yep.
We have. I know for sure. Sidestep is ready.
Got a double confirmation there.
Oh, there we go. Ralph's to give us the R in the NGS chat. That's good enough for me.
He's got them in both now. He's just making sure.
So Sidestep will have first pick, first ban here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Now coming into tonight, if my notes, there we go. Dunning-Krueger was actually 3-1 in round 1. Sidestep 3-3. So Sidestep hoping to start round 2 off here in style and end this set with a positive 500 record.
Yeah, that implies to me that Division C is going to be pretty tight, and there should be some good matchups then.
Yeah, actually, I think all of the divisions will be competitive, but the middle ones in particular, the Div D, the Div C, the Div B. Mm-hmm. There's the first ban asthma we were talking about. When we look at the, I know the MMR ranges that came out with placement, it's only 200 or 300 points between the bottom of Div D to the top of Div B. That's 3 divisions.
Wow.
So I mean, all of these teams are packed in so close. We're going to see a lot of really good games, especially the longer the season goes on and the Swiss format really taking hold and matching up top team.
That's awesome. I'm really excited for that. We do have a Rainer ban coming out, so that's a mirror image of the Bens from last game from DKK.
Yep, Rainer not coming out again. The world we live in, Famous, where Asmodan and Rainer are first ban material.
There's Genji. Okay, now things have normalized for me. I feel better about this. There's a Shimada ban, and the Rainer and the Asmodan. That's just too weird. The last couple months, they've been throwing me for a loop.
So now, are they thinking about the Garrosh? Are they thinking about the Blaze? Or is there something else they don't want to see? And they don't want to see the Kel'Thas.
Hmm. Ooh, there's the first pick, Blaze.
Insta-pick Blaze. No hesitation. They knew exactly what they want. And it would not surprise me at all as Gul'dan Ariel. We're going to see a Garrosh here coming from Sidestep. I would be surprised if we didn't.
Diablo is also pretty powerful in the Gul'dan as well. He punishes positioning. But the Garrosh was played very, very well.
Yeah, the Garrosh Blaze players both seem to be really locked in step with one another. They had really good synergy. And I think it's a good chance that Garrosh would be banned. Instead, they go with the Deckard Cain Phoenix. Also, both really good choices.
I'm wondering about a potential Cho'Gall from DAK.
You know, you could. I've had teams start with the Ariel Gul'dan rotation, and then you pair it into the Cho'Gall with the Cho'Gariel combo if it looks good. You know, you have to not tip your hand, so you just kind of hope it's going to be there. There's the Garrosh ban. So that's not surprising. So who's the ban? We're muted again, Famous. Oh my goodness. We've been having.
Hello.
There, you're back.
Maybe I'll keep the webcam off. Maybe that'll help. I don't know.
Sure, we can do that.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's from my end or yours or what's going on, but Urel, okay. Solid ban as well. I was saying to nobody that if they weren't going to ban the Diablo previously, I'd like to see them pick it up here to deny it for the Phoenix.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, there already are a lot of tools, though, for the slows. You have the Deckard slow, the Blaze slows, already kind of there for Phoenix, but the Lightning Breath is so easy to on top of it.
It's such a powerful combo. Johanna, Sonya, okay. I like it. It's pretty solid front line. Cho'Gall from the other side. Oh boy, that's amazing.
Well, you called it, just backwards.
Wrong side. Wrong side.
Backwards.
Yeah. Would not have guessed the Deckard Blaze Phoenix composition was going to throw out the Cho'Gall.
Neither would I. Having said that, none of the Cho'Gall counters are on the side of Dunning-Krueger right now.
That's true. Does Sonya have any percentage-based damage? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Now, Malthael obviously does, but the last rites could get countered very easily by the bunker.
Yeah, I think the move is to ignore Cho'Gall and try and get onto Deckard or Phoenix.
I mean, that would make sense.
Yeah. But the Malthael, I mean, pushes for the other direction, so we'll see how they approach this.
So, once again, who you got?
Oh. I don't know. It's tough for me. I think they both have good wave clear. I don't think the Deckard makes a lot of sense with the Cho'Gall. He really won't be able to keep him healthy for a long time if they do go the poking route, which Gul'dan's going to kind of fall into. I mean, there was Alexstrasza as an option, or Rhaegar could throw a big, huge heal for Cho'Gall. On the other side, I don't really see them having the burst potential to get Cho'Gall down, so they can just retreat. So I don't know. I'm pretty torn.
I will give the wave clear advantage pretty heavily, I think, over to the side of Dunning-Krueger. Johanna, Gul'dan, Malthael, Sonya. That's a lot of the ability to clear a lane and move on very fast.
Yeah, to me, the Phoenix Cho'Gall combo, like just the two of them together, I think they can clear a wave pretty quickly. So I don't think it'll come into play too much.
What I think it's going to come down to is for the side of Sidestep.
Yeah.
Is the Cho'Gall just kind of something they're attempting to spring on them? Or is this something that they actually work on? Because there's a big difference between a practice Cho'Gall and one you're just kind of
absolutely
throwing out there to catch the other team off guard. So I think that may be
I think I'm gonna give it to DKK just because they have a potential for a really good Horrify, which is really effective against Phoenix, who likes to position aggressively and then warp out at the last second. So if they get that Horrify in there, it's a pretty dead Protoss.
Absolutely. So on the side of Dunning-Kruger Knights, the blue team, Ralph Stew on Johanna, Schweik on Gul'dan, Apple Eater on Sonya, Goki Burry will be on Malthiel, and Hotaru on Ariel.
Once again, we have Dusting on Blaze, Judo Panda on his Deckard Kane, Sayun playing Hanzo last game, moving over to Phoenix, and then the Cho'Gall name will be Kel Naz, or Kella Naz. I'm going to go with Kel Naz, though.
That's a pretty good Cho'Gall name.
It's pretty great. There's a little, almost Kel Thos aspect to it.
So both teams will clash in the traditional 5-on-5, or in this case 4-on-3 mid lane. They clear waves quickly and move on, and this is what I thought Dunning-Kruger would do. They are burning these lanes. If they can get this rotational advantage, it's going to be something they might be able to build on. I'm interested to see if Sidestep can keep up with this.
Yeah, I mean, they've pretty decent wave clear themselves. Definitely not as strong. Oh, that root connected. That was pretty dead Ralph Stew, but he gets away.
I'm hesitant to go check in on our solo laners. A Wipeout is telling us today's patch gave Sonya percentage-based damage.
I believe that's PTR, though. I don't think that's live.
Well, it was the balance patch was live. They are now rotating on the Blaze, who is caught out. The Condemn does catch him, the Punish, the percentage damage, the everything, and he is not going to quite go down. I like the aggressive rotation, kind of giving Sonya reinforcements, who is definitely getting bullied by the Blaze. However, not quite able to finish him off. So we'll have to keep an eye on Sonya's build to see if she does, in fact, come up with something that gives her percentage-based damage.
Yeah, I can't think. I thought. Yeah, maybe I might be mistaken. I'm not sure.
It was a pretty big balance patch today, kind of a little bit out of nowhere, actually, with all the changes to Kel'Thuzad in particular.
Oh, is that live? I thought that was just on the PTR.
No, I'm pretty sure that was the live balance patch today.
Oh, okay. Well, then there's a huge change to Kel'Thuzad then.
For sure.
Huh.
So
I figured, yeah, they wouldn't have put all those changes through, but okay.
Dunning-Kruger securing the bottom siege giants, only doing that just off the camera here, while the peanut butter and jelly combination of Gul'dan and Ariel are taking this lane. Johanna and Malthiel actually manning the top two lanes, kind of solo-ish lanes, and they can definitely do that, so really no soak or XP lost. They did lose a tower mid in exchange for those siege giants, but look at those gem count, they're famous. That's about as close as can be, 44 to 44.
Yeah, pretty much. A little tussle bottom here. Giants get cleared up. Sonya's moved over to their Bruiser camp, or their Knight camp, I should say.
This is kind of interesting, with Johanna perfectly capable of soloing and clearing, and Malthiel able to do the same. They actually put the Gul'dan Ariel in the bottom lane to bully the Blaze out, and sent Sonya off to do jungling duty.
Yeah, pretty smart, actually, rotational setup. I like that a lot.
Yeah, pretty creative as well. It's not something you would kind of think of just off the top of your head, but really nice adjustment here for the side of Dunning-Kruger, and they're actually really doing a number here on Blaze in the bottom.
Yeah, really like to see Gul'dan and Oriel move into that mid lane to push this Knight, see if they do that.
So Sonya, now done with her Merc camping duties, will return to her duel against Blaze. Maybe try to turn in those 7 gems. Nope, just going to make sure Blaze doesn't turn in his 21. And they did indeed rotate to push out with the camp, getting some siege damage in the mid lane, but not too much. So Tootie Moss and Wipeout confirming Giant Slammer at 16 for Sonya percentage base.
Oh, cool. We do have a Fell Flame build from Gul'dan and not the Corruption build.
I mean, it'll certainly be pretty easy to stack.
True. pretty big target in Cho'Gall there.
And even the Blaze, once these teams start grouping up, and in the top lane, Malthael is able to... Bobo's calling me names in chat. So Malthael actually
He would too. He would. All right.
Malthael is able to sneak in that top turn-in while the attention was focused on the bottom lane, and it's going to be first Web Weaver phase over to the side of Dunning-Krueger Knights. Focus from Sidestep on this mid lane, and this Web Weaver is basically dead already. It's only going to be here on the board another 10 seconds or so.
It does mean DKK is free to push top, and they're going to get this front wall for free and have the Web Weaver directly on fort in a moment.
Looks like Cho'Gall thought about flanking and then decided maybe not. And just coming inside the safe way, rotating up to this top lane to clear it out without
solid anchoring from Ralph Stu really negated that potential flank. That's what you like to see from a good Johanna player.
Absolutely.
Sonya aggressively winning bottom lane is going to get a lot of damage onto this fort with Blaze having to back.
Yeah, Blaze did have to back. She might be able
Just get
to
this
take
fort,
this down. Yeah, I think she will. Depends on how hard. Sidestep is coming down here, though. She may get the fort and then might die just afterward. Run, Appolita, run.
Yeah, they didn't commit the Deckard and the Cho'Gall, so they really didn't have the lockdown / damage to finish her off there if they did go.
So that was a pretty successful first turn-in for the side of Dunning-Krueger. Normally a little bit difficult to get forts, but they got top lane wall, bottom lane fort, and not much in the mid because they cleared that out pretty lickety-split. However, Phoenix is going to get the turn-in, and we're going to have an immediate counter turn-in for the side of Sidestep.
Yeah, if they managed to block the turn-in for a little bit, they'd be closer to 10s on the side of DKK, and they would have been able to really bully this game. But that was a good clutch turn-in from Sidestep to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, I really would like to see Dunning-Krueger now right on the verge of hitting their heroics. Get aggressive as soon as they hit this and try to leverage this talent tier advantage to something they can really take control of this game with. They do get level 10s. It is going to be Last Rites for Malthael, Blessed Shield for Johanna, Fortify, of course, for Gul'dan because he only has one heroic, Crystal Aegis for Ariel, and Wrath of the Berserker for Sonya.
Ooh, Blessed Shield comes out. Last Rites. Is it going to be enough?
It is.
Oh, they don't quite get him.
I thought the poison damage would do it, and it was there, but the Gatorade, I think, thrown out by Judai Panda there was able to keep him just up. Not a lot going to be accomplished here by these Web Weavers as Dunning-Krueger got aggressive just like I hoped they would and really bullied Sidestep back for a time period there.
They did manage to pick up both and top front walls, so that'll give them a little bit of experience boost. But they do have the ultimate advantage if they're going to turn around here from the side of Sideswept.
So Bunker does go out early, a 5-person purification salvo. This fight is all over the place. I don't know who is going to go down first. It looks like it could be Blaze, but it is not.
Alpha goes back in. Tries to keep them re-engaged, but it looks like everyone's going to get away. Phoenix did an excellent job of zoning off the back line on the side of the back line of DKK. He forced an Aegis out of Oriole and kept Gul'dan away from actually doing any damage to the front line, which on the side of Blaze was particularly low.
Yeah, both of these teams actually have enough for their second turn-in. And that wasn't so much one giant team fight as like two smaller skirmishes that were kind of right next to each other at the same time. Hotaru on Ariel is in trouble. A nice disengagement on the whip. Self-heal to keep the dot down. However, Cho'Gall able to come in and finish the job. Ralph Stu now body blocking with the dot and the percentage blaze damage of Malthael. Cho'Gall is melting fast. Reduced healing. Last rites. Lornado coming out to try to keep him up. Appolita spitting onto the Cho'Gall, and they are finally able to finish him off, so that's a 2-for-1 so far. Cho'Gall traded for Ariel. However, Sonya and Johanna both load. Purification salvo coming out. It didn't get Sonya somehow, but she is going to fall, and it is actually the walking stick of Deckard Cain that finally fells Sonya.
Might call that one a kill steal, but that's okay. It's teamwork.
So a 3-4-2, or no, 2-for-2. Sonya and Ariel falling in exchange for Cho'Gall. And that's the total kill count of this game, actually. 2-for-2. These teams are dead even in level.
Oh, Malthael in some huge trouble up top. Good Decker combo. Oh, doesn't get the root. He might squeak by. Oh, Lornado will seal the deal.
So that's kind of been a little bit of the story of these games is Dunning-Krueger getting punished for overextensions, and they were so again there. Malthael getting caught out and killed, and that's going to signal the fall of the top fort for Dunning-Krueger.
Yeah, big problem. As this is going to push on a front wall, should clean that up as well. Unless they're going to rotate to middle while they respond to top and get themselves another fort.
Cho'Gall kind of in the flanking position here, throwing down some poke damage onto the structures of Dunning-Krueger. Now the minion wave has arrived, and mid-fort is going down quickly.
Yeah, they do have 13 advantage if they take this fight. Johanna does... There's the salvo. Aegis comes out to say, not quite in time. It's a little bit too early.
Aegis and Shadow Bolt Volley just rip through the side of Dunning-Krueger, and should Sidestep go on to take victory in this game, I think this is the point that we will turn to as the turn in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Gul'dan did hit a 3-man Horrify, but it was just a tad bit too late, as everyone had already died.
Yeah, those are the Horrifies. Not that it was a bad Horrify, but you want to use your Horrifies to isolate out and kill somebody ideally, and that was kind of used as a, oh my goodness, defensive button.
Yeah, exactly.
And although that's certainly a use for it, ideally you don't have to use it in those situations. And 60 gems on the dot for Sidestep, and they're on the verge of back-to-back turn-ins here. If you're Dunning-Krueger, this is the time to dig your heels in the sand. They're making a boss play.
I kind of like it.
No, but
they're not going to commit to it.
They're not. They do have turn-in. They didn't take turn-in. They didn't go for the boss, but they did allow Sidestep to get a free turn-in on the bottom. Some indecision in the shot calling there, Famous.
Yeah, had they gone for the boss, I mean, they're playing into Lornado, so that's a bit of a risk, but they do have Horrify to kind of balance that out. But it's a gamble, which I think they really should have taken, considering they're as far as behind as they are.
Yeah, or tried to force the fight over the turn-in before the side of Sidestep gets to level 16, and instead they kind of did neither and just gave up a free turn-in.
Yeah, particularly since Cho'Gall went down, they actually had enough gems only with him originally to turn in, but he went down to do the Giant, so it gave them enough time to they actually could have contested, but they were a little slow on the mark.
So bottom lane Web Weavers have taken down the last remaining outer structure for the side of Dunning-Krueger and secured level 16 for Sidestep. Two-person Horrify does catch out Cho'Gall. He is taking a lot of damage. However, the Stasis and the Bunker and a big salvo turns this fight around. Crystal Aegis does barely keep Schweik up and in the battle. He is draining life off a minion to come back inside, and Ariel goes down on the top side. Dunning-Krueger showing no signs of disengagement, however. Two more go down. Malthael goes down as well. That is 4 for nothing. And with eyeballs onto the core, Sidestep could be on their way to their domination of Dunning-Krueger Knights here.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a GG coming out. Just solid play from Deckard and Blaze in both games, and just hitting their combo so well.
Yeah, for sure. The Blaze was definitely, you can tell, a highly prioritized pick for the side of Sidestep, and with how well they play with it, it's clear to see why. Blaze was a huge factor in both of those games, really.
Yeah, played phenomenally well. I'd like to really point out again Phoenix's play. I really feel like Sayun kind of carried a lot of those fights. He's really forced the backline back in this game, as opposed to last game where it was more Naz doing that. They're really putting a lot of pressure onto the support and the DPS, so they couldn't actually contribute to the core of the fight.
All right, let's bring those talents up there for anybody that wants to see those. There you are. And hopefully in just a minute we will get the team captain of Sidestep in here. And a little behind the scenes clicking here.
Fair enough.
Let's see if we can get him in here. Gotta find him. Yeah, there were some moments in those games. I think it goes without saying that Sidestep was a little bit cleaner in their macro. They were a little bit more cognizant of not overstepping in lane. I think I can only think of one time where Blaze was caught in the top lane of game 1 where Phoenix and Rag rotated on him. Other than that, Sidestep really didn't give away any free kills in rotation. And anytime you have games where you're getting, a 2 to 3 kill differential in rotational picks, that's definitely an advantage for your squad.
100%. I mean, yeah, they gained such an experience advantage just from the lack of soak because of those deaths, and then turning points, particularly in the first game. Unfortunate times for...
Did we lose you again? Oh, there's Kel. Famous, I think we lost your audio again if you want.
Oh, no.
Nope, no, there you are. You're back. I lied. You're here.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
All right. Well, Kel, congratulations. 2-0 for you guys. I think you're sitting at 5-3 on the season. Talk to me about your guys and your Blaze play, because clearly it was a high priority. You played that hero, not just the player that played him very well, but you guys seem to play around the Blaze, the bunker, the stun so well. Give us your thoughts on your Blaze play those first 2 games there.
Yeah, so we prioritize Blaze a lot because he's just a great solo lane. And then originally, the first game, they banned out Cho'Gall, and we actually wanted to play Cho'Gall during that one. And we wanted a way to basically stop any kind of, like, second game, Malthael ult, for example. So we need the bunker is really important to us. So yeah, it ended up working for us in game 1 also for, like, Ragnaros, Lava Wave as well. And anytime, like, Diablo would come in, we always had the bunker ready. So that's one of his, like, strongest heroes as well. So that's why we were, like, first picking Blaze.
Yeah, you and Blaze actually had some really good synergy in the first game. Some into the phrase I saw, throwing Blaze right into their backline for some good stun setups.
Right, yeah, I would call out, like, I'm about to throw you, get ready, get ready. And we would combo in the stun, then he'd be slowed and stunned, and I could walk up.
No, that's awesome.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your team? Are you one of the many, many new teams we have here to NGS this season? Are you guys coming back? Did you rename? Where'd you come from? How do you know each other?
Yeah, so this is our first season. I first learned about it because I was playing a tournament from NGS on TAW.
Oh, sure.
And yeah, and I saw the tournament. I was like, oh, this is really fun. Like, we should try. I saw the website, and then I noticed that they had a league set up. And I was like, oh, we should try this. And, this is our first season. And so far, it's been really fun.
That's awesome. Glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Famous, any hot takes from you for Kel here?
Yeah, I got a question. Draft for the second map there. If you guys were thinking about the Cho'Gall, why the Deckard pick when you had, like, the Alex? Is that not a healer you guys like to play, or was that more just to hide the potential Cho'Gall?
So there was a couple things. So one of it was that we wanted to hide the Cho'Gall, and that's why we weren't banning Cho'Gall counters like Leo and Nubarak, because they banned Cho'Gall the first game, so we were kind of hesitant to show. And then the other thing is that our healer is still working on Alex. He's not as confident at the moment. And so we just went up with Deckard, and we were originally going to pick Ariel, but then they first picked Gul'dan Ariel, so it kind of banned it out for us.
Yeah, I was actually calling a Cho'Gall in draft, but it was not for you guys after I saw the Gul'dan Ariel. So
So for our third ban, we thought about banning Leo because they had no more bans, but then we were also thinking that they had synergy with the Gul'dan, Ariel, Cho'Gall. They had so much battery, so we didn't want to show that either, which is why we banned Genji, I believe.
Right on.
Well, congratulations on the 2-0. Pretty fun games there. Any shout outs? Where can people find you guys playing next?
We don't really have like a website or anything. We're just kind of friends that all just decided to play this NGS for the first time. So don't have any place where you can find us, but shout out to all the viewers watching our game. Shout out to NGS as well, and you guys for casting it.
Awesome.
Happy to do it. Congratulations again, Kel.
Thank you so much.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for the NGS Nightcap. Famous, before we let you go, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Twitter. I don't know if I've ever posted anything on Twitter, but I do have a Twitter, famous_hots.
It is listed conveniently right below you right now.
There you go. Yeah, I don't stream because of technology issues on my side, but I will be hopping around co-casts pretty much every week from here on out. I kind of want to get back into it, so maybe here again on Mongoose and elsewhere in the NGS universe.
Well, you are welcome back anytime, my friend. We did a couple last season. It was fun, so happy to for this season. As for myself, tomorrow night on twitch.tv/Nexus Gaming Series will be the first of many NGS games of the week, and I will be joining Gravesville, casting Division A Adults with Jobs and Blasting Burrows, both really good teams. That should be an awesome set. So be sure to tune in at 7:30 p.m. tomorrow on the NGS Twitch site. Also, I am on Twitter down below. Should you be so inclined, we are trying to get 100 YouTube subs so I can rename that YouTube channel. So follow me here on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, and most importantly, come join the NGS Game of the Week tomorrow at 7:30. Thanks again, Famous. And we'll catch you next time, man. Have a good night, everyone.